Hallo allemaal, hoe gaat het met jullie? All is goed, maar I am just trying to get through this heat wave. It's almost 32 degrees out, and I believe it's supposed to be like that all weekend, so it is a little bit rough. There's kind of a no air conditioning culture here in the Netherlands, and coming from the States where there's always air conditioning to a point where I can see now that it's very wasteful, you know. For example, just movie theaters in the States. It'll be so hot out and they'll make it freezing in the theater where you need a blanket. This huge theater and there's only just a few people in there. Things like that I can see now that it's just a waste of energy, and you just deal with it like the Dutch. By the way, it's Friday, August 12th. I was wondering if we're gonna still have the market. Just the idea of fish out on display in this heat, I just don't really know, but it looks like they had it today. So on Fridays they have the market here. I am just on my way to the Bibliotheek. I want to show you guys the library in the town that I live. It's beautiful. So on the first floor they have a bookstore, which is lovely, and the second floor is the library. Show you guys that they literally have a crib here. These are the kinds of things that you would never see in the States. Little things like that are just gonna make a mom's life so much easier. Not only is it really child friendly, it's also very modern in comparison to a library in the States. This machine here, you literally just place your books here and you don't even have to do anything else. It pops up on the screen. It automatically knows who you are, what the book is. So I thought that was crazy. I was like, how does it know? But it just does. I do have to say you do pay a membership fee here, but it's very small, and look at what you get. Een gratis krant. Somebody just gave me. That's very nice. What's going on? I don't know what they're talking about, but I will go home and find out. Okay, I just sat down. I know a lot of you guys don't really like when I film here because the ducks can be actually really obnoxious, but I also don't like to film in crowded places. I just get really embarrassed and uncomfortable. I don't really like to draw attention to myself like that. Today I wanted to do a book review on, this is one of my favorite books. I think every expat that moved to the Netherlands should read this. It's called Why the Dutch Are Different by Ben Coates. I don't think that there's a lot of nonfiction literature on Dutch culture and lifestyle in the way that there is, for example, France or some of the other countries. There's a lot of bias for those countries, but I think there should be more good literature like this book for expats like me who are trying to learn and assimilate themselves into the Netherlands. Lifestyle, culture, history, parenting. The Netherlands, I wish there was more nonfiction literature, and I just want to share what I thought of the book and some things that I learned. So he starts off the book by saying that the Netherlands is a place where everybody knows a little, but no one knows a lot. And I find that very true. And I think there's kind of a perception from the US and some Western countries where the Netherlands is just so liberal and it's just the most liberal place in the world. And I think that that's just, Western interpretation or perception of the country, but it's actually really not. I learned so much. It talked about the political assassinations that occurred in the early 2000s that I had no idea about. And believe me, I was really young when that happened, so please don't call me ignorant, but I was shocked to learn about those. It also talked about the hunger winter famine from the 1940s. Another thing that I found really interesting, it talked about Dutch cuisine. I think that, you know, the Netherlands has kind of this reputation for kind of having boring or bland food, and I always wondered why that was. And it actually, he said his theory was because in the Golden Age, the Dutch were colonizing, they were, you know, building this global trade empire, and they had so much access to all these different spices and international exotic flavors and stuff like that. So for that reason, the Dutch cuisine kind of actually failed to develop because it didn't have to. They just had all this great food from other countries. So yeah, no hate on Dutch food. I do love a bitterballen once in a while, you know, but I'm not gonna say it's the most flavorful food in the world. But I do want to end with this quote that I really liked. The Netherlands, for all its faults, was happier than Britain, more efficient than France, more tolerant than America, more worldly than Norway, more modern than Belgium, and more fun than Germany. Sorry, Germany. I think that that's true. So if you're wondering how I've been doing and just wanted an integration update, I'm doing fine. I had an appointment with my integration advisor at the gemeente last week, and she told me I was going to take a test, and I thought it would be on maybe some language or culture, but it was one of those weird IQ tests where you pick a random butterfly, or it'll ask what's the sequence, what's the next order. So hopefully I did okay. What if I picked the wrong butterfly? My friend was like, are you gonna get deported? And the route that I'm gonna be taking for my integration is the B1 route. So I have to get to a B1 language proficiency within 3 years, I believe. So, and I think I'm expected to do some volunteer work and stuff like that. So I know that some of the other expats like Jovi or Dutch Americano, they have some videos on the Inburgering process. So I'll definitely have to check some of those out. I am also working on getting my Rijbewijs. So I take my theory exam tomorrow morning, actually, so wish me luck. It's not an easy exam, you know what? It's asking me about all these different motor carriages that I never even knew about in the States. If you had asked me what a speed pedelec, well, I knew what a moped was, but a bromobile, and I'm expected to know all the speed limits for all of these in different areas, and some of it, you know, I'm never gonna drive a trailer in my life, I promise, but they want me to know which emergency brake system it needs depending on the weight of the trailer, and you know, so I think it's like a 40% pass rate, so I'm just gonna do my best. Now, if you happen to be a Kennismigrant, which I am not, you just get your license converted. The Dutch government is like, oh, don't worry about it, we'll just give you a driver's license. Me, as a lowly, regular immigrant, I have to actually learn how to drive. So some of you guys are probably just gonna think that I'm being salty at the CBS for just handing out these driver's licenses to these expats. I'm not being salty because honestly, even if I was eligible for the 30% license exchange, I would still want to take a theory class and learn how to drive because it's completely different. It's not comparable to the States, and driving rules. Do you think it's, well, I just think it's sketch to just give out these driver's licenses to these expats for just because you have a good job, you get a driver's license automatically. It just doesn't really, I don't know, personally, I don't think it's appropriate. I do really appreciate that some of the content on the exam includes environmentally safe driving, for example, try not to drive with your windows down if you don't have to, stuff like that. So I think the Netherlands actually plans on going all electric, zero emissions by I think 2030, I believe. Okay, I hope you guys have a really great weekend despite the heat. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Dag!